Hi, I'm Adam Dietz. I was born on July 7th, 1993, at Methodist Hospital here in Indianapolis. My nuclear family consisted of my twin brothers, who were 2 years younger than me, my parents, and whatever dog, cat, or rabbit we had at the time. Growing up, my family was my life force. My socialization came largely from being brought up at home under the close watch of my mother and father, and the great elementary school that I attended. While there, I was instilled with a strong set of values that is still a huge part of me today. We had 5 guiding principles that the kids lived by: honesty, hard work, compassion, responsibility, and respect. There was one ribbon for each principle, and it would be pinned to a student's shirt that had displayed that principle in the previous week. I often had a ribbon on my chest. I was a pretty stereotypical goody-two-shoes kid, growing up in the richest county in Indiana. According to Call and Gilbert, my family would have likely fit into the lower middle class as I was growing up, but as I grew older, we would probably be more like upper middle class. This transition while I was in high school was a result of my mom going back to work. Until I was deemed old enough by my parents to stay at home and watch my 2 younger brothers, my mom stayed at home and fulfilled her traditional gender role as a stay-at-home mom. Once we were old enough, she went back to work. My mother's role as an expressive parent opened my eyes up at an early age to the conflict theory, which states that just because she stayed at home to watch my brothers and I, and didn't make any income for those early years, her role in the family was not as much appreciated as my father's. My dad plays the instrumental role of a traditional breadwinning father. My dad is a police officer, so his job in this society is viewed as fairly prestigious because he is a protector of the community. My dad, being a police officer, deals directly with the conflict theory. Conflict theorists blame the criminal justice system for crime and deviance, which is directly blaming my dad and people within the same job. Conflict theorists would argue that my dad simply doing what his job requires of him might be oppressing certain races, genders, or ethnicities of people. While I generally disagree with this notion, it is still a fundamental belief that conflict theorists posit. Social learning theory is a large presence in my own life. I've always looked up to my father and his achieved status of being a police officer. I want to go into law enforcement like him, and I aspire to be an FBI agent. I've had a couple families of affinity that have been integral to my growth as a person. The first would probably be my high school football team. At that age, I sort of strived to take on that masculine figure. I grew up playing baseball, basketball, football, and racing go-karts. Stuff that I associated being cool with from what I saw on TV or maybe my friends at school. The boys played kickball at recess or football, and the girls huddled in groups and did I don't know what. My current family of affinity is what really allowed me to break out of that sports-obsessed and narrow-minded approach that I had to my life. Being in college, particularly in my fraternity, I've done things that people back home would be plenty surprised by. Did I and do I love sports? You bet. But I don't think that I've ever had more fun than dancing or singing with my brothers in Greek life on various occasions. Butler's Greek life has this fantastic and dominant folk way that we all dance and sing together. When students rush a house in the spring, they participate in freshman skits at Hinkle Fieldhouse right around Valentine's Day. When a fraternity or sorority has their philanthropy week, they go around to all the houses and serenade them with goofy parody songs that they write about their cause. This subculture of Butler is something that I've embraced wholeheartedly, and I really don't look forward to the end of college. Thanks for watching.
I feel like I have Parkinson's.